Here we are at a dealership much like yours. We're going to show you just how simple it is to prepare a vehicle for delivery to the customer. Let's get started. Here are the products and materials we're going to be using today. For easy application, go ahead and pour the products into the dispenser bottles. If the vehicle you're working on has factory shrink wrap, now's the time to remove it. If the vehicle you're working on does not have factory shrink wrap, now's the time to evaluate what type of prep the surface will need. If the vehicle you're working on has fallout issues, I suggest using fallout remover. It's a liquid product that can be sprayed on to a dry vehicle. Allow it to dry, then just simply rinse it off. If there's any fallout remaining on the surface of the vehicle, I recommend using a clay bar. Clay bar will remove any residual left and leave that surface ready for a paint sealant application. While the fallout remover is drying, I like to apply the fabric product, because this is the one product that needs time to dry. Before applying the fabric sealant, let's go ahead and remove all the protective plastic from the interior of the vehicle. Now that we've removed the plastic, we'll need to go ahead and vacuum the fabric areas of the vehicle. Not only to clean the dirt and contaminants out of the fabric, but more importantly, to get the fibers to stand up for a good application of product. As a precaution, avoid spraying the headliner. To accelerate drying time, we recommend rolling the windows down and opening the sunroof. The first areas of fabric application should be the trunk, and then the floor mats, and then the rest of the vehicle, using back and forth overlapping strokes for complete coverage. Depending on application and environmental conditions, drying time for the fabric sealant will vary. Now that you have washed, dried, and prepared the surfaces for sealant application, let's talk about the proper application of the paint sealant. First, you're going to have to select the proper applicator. I suggest the use of a foam sponge. The foam will not be inflicting any type of scratch to the surface of the vehicle. If all you have available is a terry cloth covered sponge, I strongly recommend the removal of the terry cloth covering. Now that you've selected the proper sponge to use, go ahead and apply the product onto the sponge. You're going to want to apply a quarter size worth of product onto your dry applicator. Now work product into your sponge so you'll have a nice even application. Now it's time to apply the paint sealant. starting with your top areas first: your roof, hood, and trunk or deck lid. Applying a thin coat in circular overlapping motions. Let's go ahead and repeat the process for the sides of the vehicle. Now let's apply a thin coat to the side of the vehicle using the same circular overlapping motion. And continuing on, covering all the painted surfaces. The last portion of the vehicle you'll want to apply the product to will be the bottom portions of the vehicle. This includes the rocker panels, bumpers, and chin spoiler areas. After you've wiped the product off the vehicle, look for areas that might have been missed, such as cracks or crevices or around the emblem areas. Allowing the paint sealant to dry to a haze, and then remove with a smooth cotton cloth, or for best results use a microfiber cloth. The next and last product you'll be applying is the vinyl leather sealant. Spray the product onto the applicator sponge. With the terry cloth covered sponge in one hand and a dry white terry cloth towel in the other hand, apply the product to the desired surfaces, wiping on liberally, and coming back with your dry terry cloth towel, buffing the product off to the point to where it is dry to the touch. When applying the vinyl leather sealant, there are a couple areas you want to avoid. The first area being the plastic lens covering the radio area. The second being the instrument cluster. Third being the ring of the steering wheel. If you do happen to get some product on these areas, simply take some tissue paper and wipe the lenses clean. Last, but certainly not least, you're going to want to pull the vehicle out into the sun or a well-lit area to look for any uneven application. View the finished car in the same light as the customer will receive it in. Now that you've finished the vehicle, you can see just how easy this process is. Now your car is ready for delivery to the customer. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact us. I'd like to thank you for taking the time for watching this instructional video.